Take a look at any pro Fortnite gamer on Twitch or YouTube and you know the game takes skill. Some of these players are so far ahead of the competition that it doesn't even seem fair. But just like any other video game, there's always a bit of luck involved. Sometimes it's a coin flip whether you get a 1 in a million victory royale or end up dying in an embarrassing way. And we're about to show you these extreme cases. Before we dive in, make sure to like the video, subscribe to The Gamer, and hit that bell to be part of our notification squad so you can be the first to see our new videos. Now let's check out the Fortnite gamers that got lucky, and the gamers that got the short end of the stick. Lucky, Race Against Time. Now this one is super relatable. If you play Fortnite regularly, I'm sure you've fallen from a huge distance, either by accident or because an enemy shot down your fort. It happens a lot, and even the expert gamers have to deal with it from time to time. And another way to die without noticing until it's too late is to get caught up in the storm. Maybe you spent just a little too long looking for loot, or even got tangled up in an epic battle that lasted too close for comfort. Next thing you know, the edge of the storm is right on your tail, and you've got to run and take advantage of builds. So what if both of these impending deaths were coming for you? Well, that's exactly what happened to Redditor Kiwi. He said his butt had never clenched so hard, and that's gotta be the perfect description of this escape. He runs up a pre-built ramp that seems to go on forever, and about halfway up, what happens? The ramp gets shot out from under him. As it starts to explode his direction, all he can do is keep running. The storm closes in, the ramp gets closer to dropping him to his doom, and then just at the very last, absolutely final second, he hits the jump pad and glides to safety. Wow, just a half second slower and he'd be eliminated. Unlucky, Shopping Cart's Revenge. Okay, if the last entry was relatable and nerve-wracking, this one is hilarious and 1 in a million. Shopping carts in Fortnite have definitely been up and down. First, Epic introduces them, and they're pretty popular. Then they bug out and cause glitch after glitch in game, so Epic removes them. And then they come back, only to get overshadowed by the ATK. So with all this back and forth, we think it got overlooked that the shopping carts became self-aware. Hey, hear us out here. Reddit user NewmanY would probably agree. The player jumps up to the shopping cart racing Ridge and starts chopping down trees. Nothing out of the ordinary there, right? Well, little does he know that all that resource gathering has put into effect a horrible series of events. The cart didn't like getting nudged and is already plotting his revenge. NewmanY has moved on and is at the bottom of the ridge, looking for players to take out, when all of a sudden, the cart strikes. It slides down the hill and knocks him way down to the bottom, instantly killing him. That's a textbook definition of bad luck. Lucky, ATK trick. Speaking of the ATK, here's an example of luck that you never expected. This combines not only the ATK, but also another new feature, the warps. Redditor Oisties is attempting to replicate a trick that they saw on Reddit and boost up the mountain. But things end up going a totally different way. The trick fails and sends them into the storm, but only for a second, because they shoot through an unexpected warp to who knows where. When everything finally becomes clear, Oisties is dropping from the sky and lands perfectly into the top of a building. It honestly looks like it was made to store the ATK. We're not totally sure what happened to the player after that, but we're just happy they got this crazy lucky event on tape. Unlucky, the Modern Roadrunner. This unlucky moment is a little bit different than the others on the list because it didn't end up with an epic death or elimination, but it did have a healthy dose of embarrassment. Redditor Brotherly Moses captured this insane series of events perfectly. Epic introduced the spray paint feature previously, and a player took full advantage of it. They built 2 walls over the top of the underpass entrances outside of Tomato Town. Then, they spray painted the tunnel spray over the top, making it look like a more cartoon version of the old entrances. This alone would have been funny enough, but one unlucky player in an ATK drives straight into it. Yeah, somebody's pride was hurt that day. Fortnite is partially popular because of stunts just like this. The possibilities are almost endless, and as long as people like Brotherly Moses keep capturing them, we're sure to see tons more in the future. Lucky, the No Loot Dancer. Have you ever been searching for what felt like an eternity for good loot and kept coming up with nothing? Or maybe you dropped to a high traffic area and you're forced to camp out for a minute and all the good stuff is gone. What can you do? Well, for this clever and lucky player, a dance move did the trick. Redditor secretly loves slugs, comes upon an enemy in the middle of a firefight. They know if they run one way or the other that they'll be found. And they also have no weapons, so they had to improvise. They decide to start doing the groove jam dance. It goes on for a few seconds before they notice, and you just know that they were incredibly confused. The enemy turns around and tries to process what's happening. Why is somebody dancing at me when they have a clear kill shot? And then bam, their original enemy gets a shot off to the back of the head, and it's all over with, leaving a very, very lucky secretly loves slugs to all kinds of drop loot. The success rate of this kind of strategy has got to be extremely low, so if you're ever in a pinch, maybe try anything else first. That is, unless you're feeling lucky. Unlucky, Curse of the Scar. Has anybody else had this happen to you? You get the extremely lucky find and open a chest to get a legendary scar, and then things just go wrong afterwards. This happens so much to Fortnite gamers that some have even suggested there's a curse on the gold scar. I mean, when you find the best weapon in the game, things are supposed to improve, right? Well, for Reddit user Jigsaw 3D Puzzle, he quickly found out that good luck can turn immediately. First off, he finds the scar in a chest in the attic of a retail row house. So far so good, right? But then it drops down to a lower level. Jigsaw grabs the gun and immediately goes into the next room where, well, this happens. Yep, he gets eliminated by a spike trap just when things were looking up. Sorry, Jigsaw, that's just the case of bad luck. Kind of ironic that his name is Jigsaw though, huh? Lucky, Neo the Viking. Let's go back to emotes for a minute. Reddit user Mach's Mies demonstrated perfectly how an emote could give you a competitive advantage. That is, if you're incredibly lucky. Here they are on the edge of a fort, getting shot at, when for some reason they decided to do a flip, specifically the flippin' sexy emote. Magnus the Viking hops into the air, flips, and right as they're coming down, a bullet goes right where they would have been standing. The flippin' sexy emote only cost them 500 V-Bucks, so the player claims that it was the best 500 V-Bucks they've ever spent. Unlucky, welcome to Trapville. The constant new locations in Fortnite have been a welcome change, but no matter how many times you make a new spot to explore, you're still gonna have to deal with the same old traps. This unlucky moment is brought to us by Redditor named Revix. They have a brilliant plan once they hear some enemies hanging out in the desert diner. This plan seems like a slam dunk. He opens the door, plants a spike trap, fires off a shotgun blast, and he's that much closer to victory, right? Well, that would be the case if he didn't get so unlucky. Who would have thought that the players in the diner had almost the exact same plan? When Revix comes into the room to collect his bounty, it's death from above. Yet another spike trap set by the enemy in the same room. Lucky and unlucky, the Great Rescue. Okay, we saved the best for last here. Calling this an epic moment really doesn't do it justice. This is what happens when greatness and luck runs into the unluckiest guy on Fortnite. Literally runs into. Pointy Hat Man posted this video on Reddit and has the website going nuts. If you don't recognize his name, you might know him better as Muselk, a popular YouTuber. He said this footage was too good not to use, and he couldn't find a spot for it in his regular videos, so to Reddit it went. This is a lucky break for an already incredibly gifted player that just begs to be seen. He lands by a deep ledge and knocks off a player right away. That's when he sees an ATK and a small ramp at the bottom of the ledge. What else is that? Another enemy player abandoned at the bottom. This is where the rescue mission comes into play. The Redditor, Chappadoodle, is the player at the bottom, and he must have been going through a combination of both anxiety and elation. He couldn't get out, and yet some good Samaritan was rescuing him. Well, not so fast. After Pointy Hat Man builds almost to the very bottom, he decides to run all the way back up. But why, do you ask? Well, to take a crazy ride down his build in the ATK, of course. But don't worry, he breaks his fall with Chappadoodle. The odds of him not rolling off are so low, it's insane. And the chance of Chappadoodle getting knocked into elimination land by an ATK probably never entered his mind in a million years. Is Muselk the world's greatest troll? Or did he luck out into one of the funniest Fortnite moments ever? Why not both? All we know for sure is that poor Chappadoodle probably had a good cry after that one. And we don't blame him. We'd be right there with you, pal. Okay guys, that's it for now. What's the luckiest thing you've ever been involved in Fortnite? How about the most unlucky? Leave your interesting responses down in the comment section. And don't forget to click that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all our new videos. Thanks for watching, gamers. I'll see you on Spawn Island.